Welcome one more time to the final episode of Let's Play TNA 2016. And I called it, and this is the final episode because we are going to book Impact Wrestling and Slammiversary tonight, but today in this episode. After a year and a half, or after a year, plus a little year and about 3 months, plus two or three hiatuses, plus lacking consistency from the word go, it's time to call it quits here in TNA. And this is the last episode. I have thoroughly enjoyed this series, and there were points when I was shocked at how good this series did. Because I didn't expect this series to do as good as it did. But it did a hell of a lot better than I thought. And I'm very grateful for that. You know, because with the selections that I made from WCW 2001 to WCCW 1983 to this, to the invasion, to, people asked a little prompted with a little confusion of why. Well, this one started, if you don't remember, this one started because I asked you guys. I put up a poll on Twitter, and I asked you guys, what season would you like me to do, what season would you like me to do next? And the answer came back, TNA 2016. I hope that at this point in the game, you have enjoyed this series as much as I have. Because I have enjoyed everything having to do with this season. The highs and the lows, and figuring out the best way to use talent. I mean, yes, you may say, oh, your women's division sucks, or your world title picture is backwards because you have veterans in the world title picture. I have veterans in the world title picture, and I realized that because of that, it's not TNA. But I also realized that when I got here, the company needed stability. The company needed something to help them build to the next generation and become stable. I don't know. Excuse me. I don't know what I just clicked, but whatever I did, oh well. But this company needed something to make them stable. This company needed something to help them gain a little bit more attention. And I feel like bringing in the guys that I brought in, from Mick Foley to Rey Mysterio to the few appearances from Edge, that it helped the company. That it helped the company tremendously move forward. And also, for those of you who may say, oh, no, it didn't, blah, 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 the one thing that you're forgetting is this. Yes, Rey Mysterio may not fit in TNA. Rey Mysterio may not fit. Mick Foley may not fit. Ken Doane may not fit. This person may not fit. That person may not fit. But the point is, in reality, they do. And in reality, they do for one reason and one reason only. And that reason is they fit because stability. The biggest thing I wanted to accomplish or that I set out to accomplish in this season was stability. Bringing a stable presence to the company, and I genuinely feel like I did that. Whatever I pressed, it's making my mouse cursor freak out. So hopefully it doesn't screw up the video. Or what I may do is I may do 2 separate videos instead of one long one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I know. One of the biggest things is my booking of Awesome Kong and how poor my booking of Awesome Kong has been. But when you look at it, I mean, honestly, no offense to Awesome Kong, but I always hated her as a babyface. Because I'm one for believability, and if believability isn't there, then, you know, like, yes, she's a nostalgia act. People remember her from when she was a part of the Knockouts division in the beginning, and her coming back helps the idea of, okay, we remember her. But the fact of the matter is she a better heel or is she a better babyface? She's a better heel. She's better when she's hated. That's just me. I think she's better when she's hated. I do. And it's no offense to Awesome Kong or no insult to Awesome Kong's talent. I think she is extremely talented. But the fact of the matter is that even with that being the case, talent or not, I don't like her as a babyface. I don't think she's that good as good, you know? I don't think she's that good when she's a babyface. I think she's 100 times better as a heel. I also don't like her talking. I think she's better when she had a manager. I mean, I may have the old school mentality when it comes to this because I think, oh, she's a monster, so monsters aren't able to talk and monsters aren't able to, be baby faces and this and that. You tell me, can Nia Jax be a babyface? Can Nia Jax be a babyface? Oh, Awesome Kong's better than Nia. But that's not the point. The point is, they're very similar. They're very similar, and that's the point. Is the Prodigy doing anything? The answer to that question is no. Okay. The Prodigy is not doing anything. So let's just throw him in here and set up the main event. I just remembered what Steve Corino was doing. Bram, Rob Echoes. Where's Robbie E? Okay, maybe Rob's injured? I don't know. All I do know is Bram up against him. Bram up against Shiloh Jones. And then JB with Corino. Corino's promoting the debut of his new client and the reason why he's here in TNA. And then we move to the main event. Ethan Carter versus the Prodigy. I did this same thing with WWE 2014 when I finished that series, and I'm probably going to do the same thing when I finish WCW, and that is have a longer episode than normal to end it. I'm shocked that Jesse Goddard did that bad. I am shocked that Jesse Goddard did that bad. I really am surprised. I didn't expect him to. Oh shit, I wanted to turn him babyface. Tessmacher won. No surprise there. The Wolves beat Crime Time. Basically, the Wolves are going into their match against Beer Money for the World Tag Team titles, and they needed a tune-up match before the pay-per-view. The Wolves taunt Beer Money. Drew Galloway beat Rockstar Spud. That's why I did it, because I wanted to get Drew Galloway on the card more. I want to push Drew Galloway. Look, it is entirely possible that even after the recordings are done, I still continue this series, and maybe in a few months you see Inside TEW with TNA 2016. It is entirely possible, because I do have other ideas. I just think it's time for me to finish this series. I just think at this point it would be best to finish the series and start something new, to get something fresh on the channel instead of TNA. It's no offense to TNA, it's more offense to me for keeping this series going as long as I have and only being 6 months in. It's more on me for that. Basically, the Prodigy came out and sided with Bram, provoked Ethan Carter, and that prompted the match in the main event between the Prodigy and Ethan Carter. And much like last week, Broken Matt Hardy has a sit-down interview with Mike today. I give them complete freedom to talk, to do whatever they want in this segment, because I want Matt to have creative control of his gimmick. Yes, that also means that if he was to leave, he'd be able to take the gimmick with him because he has creative control. Even though I gave him the okay to do it, he still has creative control to take it with him if he wants. And I also have to kill the heel turn for Matt Hardy because I'm not doing a heel turn. JB with Steve Corino, as Steve Corino says he's going to introduce his new client at Slammiversary. And then the main event, an unfortunate main event because the Prodigy got a 37 and not a good main event. I really should. I mean, I guess it could have been worse. I mean, not a good way to end the season with how positive the season's been, ending it on a low note like this, but at least we didn't end, at least our last episode of Impact did not end with us losing popularity. So that's good. So that is good. So now I'm going to multitask by returning a text and still talking. And the reason why I don't have to, well, the reason why I don't have much to say is because we're in the middle. So, take this as a commercial break. I'm only kidding. Jerry Lawler, he's done. He's officially out of the business. Yep, he's officially out of the business. See, I don't know why, I don't know why in this game they have people step away from the business at 65. I mean, I guess it's retirement age in real jobs, so that makes sense. But it's still the idea that you know, Jerry Lawler could still be beneficial to the company. You know what I mean? I know. pop in the Fight Network or hate me because I did shitty. But what are you gonna do? So let's get to the 15th anniversary. Let's get to the 15th anniversary. I can't believe this series is almost over. The longest running Let's Play series on the channel is on its last show. I knew it was coming eventually, and I think that this is the right decision for me to do because of the fact that I started it last April, and it's July. So I think it's time to start something new. I think it's time to move forward and start something new. There's something wrong with this picture. Because how is Kevin Nash WCW Hall of Famer? How is Kevin Nash a WCW Hall of Famer? WCW doesn't exist. And also, why would WWE have a WCW Hall of Fame? I've never actually seen that before in my life. Or in the lifespan that I've been playing this game, I've never seen that. Oh, Tomoaki Hanma. I know him. I probably butchered his name, but I still know who he is. But yeah, that was weird. Seeing Kevin Nash get inducted into the WCW Hall of Fame, even though WCW doesn't exist. And hasn't existed for 15 years. Yeah, that's, a little strange. And this is why, by the way, I only record, booking and not in between the booking, because I don't know what the fuck to say in between the booking. But what I will say is, if you know anything about me, you know that I love doing pre-booking. You know I love pre-booking. And what does that have to do with anything? Well, that no fucking way. Ultimo Dragon won the world title in All Japan? Ultimo Dragon won the world title in All Japan. I only say that because it's a little puzzling to me that a 49-year-old world champion in one of the top companies in Japan. But kind of happy about it that I saw it when before we left. So yeah. But what I was going to say is, if you know anything about me, you know a pay-per-view. Well, that means one thing. That means there's pre-booking. That means there's pre-booking. And that means so the only way I can be on pay-per-view in the States is if I okay, fine. If I do stay, I gotta fix that. I gotta fix that, because that's annoying that I can't get on any other television stations other than that one. 5-way Ultimate Submission match, what the fuck? Oh, King of the Mountain. Okay, that makes sense. This match never happened. Kurt Angle one-on-one with Rey Mysterio, with Kurt Angle's world title. Number one, Kurt Angle had lost the world title back in April at One Night Only Legacy to Rey Mysterio, and never got his rematch. This is Kurt Angle's rematch for the TNA World Heavyweight title. Can Kurt Angle become an 8-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion? Well, the answer to that question is not tonight. Not tonight he won't. And then we also have Mick Foley, EC3, Bram, Mr. Anderson, Jesse Goddards, and Abyss. As Mick Foley announces his brainchild of an idea to have King of the Mountain for the King of the Mountain Cup. Eric Young, EY is defending the TNA Heritage Championship. Against Micah. Okay, not against Micah. His first title defense will be against one half of the Motor City Machine Guns and the guy who's been very busy across the pond in Japan in recent weeks, which is why he hasn't been used in 2 months. In recent months, I should say. Alex Shelley. And now we move to the first promo, and then you say, "Oh, you're actually going to give the women a promo on the pay-per-view?" The answer to that question is absolutely. Because they have had one of the most prominent featured feuds in the company, so of course Jade, Marty Bell, and Taryn Terrell are going to have the opportunity to talk. I don't know why they just don't call him the Dollhouse, but who am I to judge? I'm putting the kibosh on Lashley versus Abyss because instead Lashley's wrestling somebody else. The TNA World Tag Team titles are on the line as Beer Money is defending the titles for, unfortunately, and I say unfortunately because they should have defended the titles at least once since they won them, but they have not. So it's going to be for the first time since they won the belts, and yes, I know, oh, if they haven't defended him in 2 months, they shouldn't be champions anymore. Yeah, I know, you're right, but what are you gonna do? And then we have Bobby Lashley versus Crazy Steve. And then we move on, as it's going to be TJP versus Tigre Uno for the TNA X Division Championship. I'm gonna have to check out the rest. Playing into what happened on Impact, TJP gets the win. If you don't know what happened, then you didn't watch the beginning of this video, because TJP attacked Tigray on impact, so Tigray's not at 100%, and that's playing into the match. So I didn't even book that match, so that's okay. So now we move to the first meeting between the Hardys and just like in real life, Jeff Hardy wins. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to let that match be the semi-main. I'm going to let that match be the semi-main event instead of where it is. And I'm going to put this match there. And just because I don't want to see them lose again, I'm letting Velvet and Madison get the victory over Jamin. You know what? The Hardys aren't going to be the semi-main. The King of the Mountain match is going to be the semi-main. There's a reason why it's a 60-minute Ultimate Submission match. It's because I never changed the title when I made the match. Because the King of the Mountain match stipulation is not in the game, so I had to make it. And considering the fact that I did, here you go. I just remembered Mr. Impact is not going to be on the show. I mean, not going to be in the match. Abyss is instead. That's why it was going to be a 20-minute match. I mean, with the fact that Bram got a 47, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if Bram got it because he didn't click with the person last week, or because he's not ready to be featured in a main event prominent spot. Because if that's the case, then EC3 should win. Who would be the best match for Rey Mysterio? Please tell me I don't have to make it a 60-minute. Here it is. I don't know why I didn't change it then, because it's obvious I kept it as that. I don't know why I didn't change it, I'll be honest. Because King of the Mountain's right here. I don't know why I didn't change it from an Ultimate Submission match. It's weird that I even chose an Ultimate Submission match to begin with. Anderson and Jesse. See, it can't be over 20 minutes because Abyss can't go over 20 minutes. How long do I have to make it? How long do I have to make it? What the fuck? Okay, I think I'm gonna have to put the kibosh on Abyss going in. How long? What? An hour? What the fuck? Okay, so I'm just gonna do a Fatal 5-Way. Because I'm not gonna I can't replace the match or edit the match, so I'm just gonna do a Fatal 5-Way. And it's gonna be for the King of the Mountain Cup. Because there's no reason why the time limit, the minimum time on a fucking King of the Mountain match should be an hour. Because it's not like in real life. It's not like in real life that they ever let them go an hour in the King of the Mountain match. Manager. Debuts client. Steve Corino. Debuts Mr. Impact. Yes, there's a reason why Mr. Impact is under a mask. It's because I don't want you to know who he is. And it's also kind of funny that Mr. Impact is the only person in the main event circuit that I did not book. Of course, Mr. Impact gets the win. Then we go to the King of the Mountain match. And then we go to Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle, video package as the feud comes to a close. And yes, I know exactly what I need. I need to make a match storytelling. So I'm going to give it to the two people that I know. Oh. And also the fact that I had pre-booking left. So let's just go in, come out. Okay, so we almost booked to the full time. Any feuds that haven't been accounted for? Kyle O'Reilly and Zack Sabre. And yes, I know about the women's feud. I know that Gail Kim and Mickie James has not been booked very well. I know it hasn't been built up very well. I know it hasn't been, done anything. But that's why I'm going to give them a talking segment on the show to help build up the feud a little bit. I'm gonna try and give Spud an interview segment. And see how it goes. Put that in the middle of the show, and now we see how good Slammiversary, the 14th anniversary, goes. It kicks off with the announcement of the King of the Mountain Cup later tonight, with the 5 individuals involved in the King of the Mountain Cup in the ring. And then we move to the first match, with Zack Sabre Jr. getting the victory over Kyle O'Reilly. Surprising the former #1 contender to the TNA X Division Championship. With Zack Sabre getting his first major win in TNA. Eric Young comes out and issues an open challenge to put his heritage title on the line because he doesn't want to not be featured on Impact's biggest event of the year, or second biggest event of the year. If you're a fan of Impact Wrestling, let me know down in the comment section below. Do you think that Slammiversary is big? The biggest pay-per-view of the year? Or do you think Bound for Glory is the biggest pay-per-view of the year? Let me know down in the comment section. But either way, for the first time in 2 months, Alex Shelley appears on an Impact Wrestling event as he faces Eric Young for the TNA Heritage Championship, and Eric Young retains his Heritage title. And now we move backstage as Taryn Terrell, Marty Bell, and Jade are backstage with Jeremy Borash promoting the 6-man tag team match later tonight between the Dollhouse and 2/3 of the Beautiful People. Lashley continues his feud with Crazy Steve and Abyss as he defeats Crazy Steve tonight. And if you want to know how Abyss got in the King of the Mountain Cup, he beat Lashley. That's why for me, wins matter. because I needed an extra guy to replace Mr. Impact, and with the fact that Abyss just won, it's fitting that I chose him. And now we move to the second title match of the night between Beer Money and the American Wolves for the tag team titles. And the Wolves get the victory. The Wolves come up short against Beer Money as Beer Money gets the victory. And Bobby Roode dominates the match with a 96 in-ring performance. Holy shit. Holy shit. A 96 in-ring performance. That's fucking insane. What a match between these two tag teams. Amazing. Amazing match between these two tag teams. I am dumbfounded by how good this match was. This could have been the main event. And like I mentioned when I was booking the show, I gave Rockstar Spud the opportunity to host his own in-ring segment to give him a little more depth and a little bit more opportunity to talk, speak, and get on camera in a more positive way, and that's exactly what he's doing here as he gives the women the center stage tonight at Slammiversary as the feud continues to develop between Gail Kim and Mickie James. And speaking of title matches, our third title match tonight between TJ Perkins and Tigre Uno. And for the first time in over a year, Tigre Uno will not be TNA X Division champion because for the first time in his career, for the second time in his career, for the first time under the name TJ Perkins, TJP is TNA X Division champion, ending the record-setting reign of Tigre Uno. Jeff Hardy's backstage with JB talking about the development of Broken Matt Hardy and the change that Matt's went through since March, and if he can understand what his brother's going through. And Jeff says, I don't know. All I know is me and my brother have always wanted to step into the ring against each other on a big stage, on a grand stage. We've done it before. But this time, it's more questions than answers. I gotta kill that heel turn. After the show, I'm gonna kill the heel turn. A little surprise, the Dollhouse come up short against Jamie Jameson and the Beautiful People for one reason and one reason only. The reason is because had they not, could I have gotten another match out of this? No. I don't think so. But I can now. And I will. Believe you me, I will. The feud doesn't end here. But either way, the babyfaces get the win. In the come up. Well, at least the women were represented tonight. I feel very bad that Gail Kim and Mickie James weren't represented on the show, as I know the match would have been very fan-freaking-tastic because both of them are tremendous talents, and I should have, but I just felt like because of the lack of development in the feud, it would have been a waste putting on a match so soon. It's my fault for not booking the feud better in the build-up to the show, but I realized when I was booking the last episode, the go-home show for Impact, that the match wasn't very good. The build wasn't very good. I do know I could have did Rockstar Spud's interview segment on Impact and then do 2 interview segments to build up the match, and then went with the match. I know there's ways. But maybe when we do Inside TNA, you'll be able to see it better. And now we move to the first meeting between the Hardy Boys since Matt's changed to Broken Matt Hardy. Before that, we move to an interview segment with Jeremy Borish and Broken Matt. Once again, Matt gets complete control of the segment, and he can say whatever he wants. I just tell him, build up your match. Build up the match. Wow. Very unfortunate. I thought the match was going to get at least an 80, or at least mid-70s, but very unfortunate. I'm disappointed. Maybe next time I shorten the match. Either way, still a relatively good match for what the in-ring performances show. But either way, the feud is just getting going with the Hardy Boys, so let's see where it goes from here. And then we move forward as Steve Corino makes his way out to the ring to introduce his new client, Mr. Impact. And Mr. Impact makes his debut against Trip Cassidy. Solid performance by Mr. Impact, and you finally get to find out why Steve Corino is here in Impact Wrestling. It's because he wants to give people like Mr. Impact the spotlight and the opportunity to best succeed and cover he wants to help the next generation, and Mr. Impact is ready to lead the next generation. And then we move to the King of the Mountain Cup match between Ethan Carter III, Abyss, Bram, Mr. Anderson, and Jesse Goddards. And Ethan Carter III is the King of the Mountain champion, and will be #1 contender to face Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight Championship. Speaking of the TNA World Heavyweight title, it's time for the main event of Slammiversary, Rey Mysterio, Kurt Angle. Rey Mysterio and Kurt Angle, an 87 in-ring performance for Rey Mysterio, 75 for Kurt Angle, and Rey gets his second successful title defense against the Olympic gold medalist, as Rey is still going to be TNA World Heavyweight Champion, at least for now, and will be the one who goes on to face Ethan Carter III at a later date for his TNA World Heavyweight Championship. We increased our popularity in 27 regions and ended on a high note, because this, my friends, is the end, the finale of Let's Play TNA 2016. Honestly, I can't believe it's July 2017 from when I'm recording this. It's July 20th, 2017, and I started this back in April 2016. I can't believe I'm still doing, I can't believe I'm ending this season now. I can't believe I made it this far. I can't believe this season has gone this far and actually been consistent with views and actually, you know, you guys seem to have enjoyed it, and I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy about that. I may continue booking TNA even with this being the last recorded episode, because I do have the Inside TW series where I go inside personal seasons to show you what's been going on. Let me know down in the comment section below if you'd like me to do that, if you'd like me to take an Inside TW episode and go back and show you what I've done with TNA since the end of the series. And let me know how you've liked the series. Let me know if you've liked my booking, if you think having a guy like Rey Mysterio leading the company or helping the company is in turn beneficial to the company. You know, let me know if you like seeing Steve Corino, if you like how I've booked Broken Matt Hardy thus far. Let me know what you think of the booking decisions and how I've been booking TNA. And if you think, if I did leave, would TNA be in more of a stable position now than when I first came? Let me know down in the comment section below, because as always, feedback is more than welcomed and appreciated. But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. Till next time. Later.